Honourable Chairperson, I would like to join South Africa in congratulating President Cyril Ramaphosa on his election as the 5th President of the Republic of South Africa. With him, he carries the aspirations of 56 million South Africans who hope that a new dawn has indeed broken. In a State of the Nation address last week, President Ramaphosa went some way in reinstalling this hope in the hearts of the people of our beautiful country. Hope that was shattered by Jacob Zuma, aided and abetted by the ANC. In his speech, I was particularly impressed by President Ramaphosa's commitment to not tolerate the plunder of public resources. Uthe amasela aba imali kahulumende mawabanjwe. He committed to turn the tide of corruption in our public institutions and invited all South Africans to lend a hand. As the official opposition, our leader, Mmusi Maimane, has already assured President Ramaphosa that he can count on the DA's support as long as he acts in the best interest of the people of South Africa. What is in the best interest of the people of South Africa, Honourable Chairperson, is for politicians, not just government officials, to be held accountable when caught stealing or facilitating the stealing of the people's money. The DA fully agrees, President Ramaphosa, that amasela aba imali kahulumende mawabanjwe. In addition, mababoshwe, and then baye tronk too. The DA has and will continue to lend a hand in making this happen. Many of those amasela are high-ranking members of the ANC who sit comfortably in the benches of this House today. We would like President Ramaphosa to assure us that there will be no political interference in the criminal investigations and prosecution of these individuals, amasela. The law must be allowed to take its course without special treatment for politicians. We would also like to hear President Ramaphosa publicly condemn these individuals by name, something he has not done thus far. Speaking in meanders about the corrupts within your own party is simply not good enough. South Africa deserves straight talk and straight action from you about corruption. First in line must be Jacob Zuma. We would like to see the Ramaphosa presidency walking the talk by holding Mr. Zuma accountable for the millions he wasted in trying to avoid prosecution. South Africa also deserves to know how much of its money Mr. Zuma spent over the last decade doing so. He must pay every single cent back for his odoriferous sagas. Second in line to be brought to book is the ANC's current Secretary General and Premier of the Free State, Ace Magashule, who I was hoping to see in the front benches but is not here today, who is implicated in the Estina project, which saw 220 million meant for poor farmers transferred by Phumzile van Damme, who is also not here, to the Guptas. The contract between Estina and Honourable, and I use that very loosely, Zwane's department, was forwarded to Magashula's Office for Legal Advice and found that procurement processes were not followed and the contract may be invalid. And yet, he allowed for it to go ahead. Like Honourable Phumzile Zwane, Ace Magashule must be charged and prosecuted, top 6 or not. Then, honourable speakers, honourable chairperson, are the ministers implicated in state capture. Faith Mutambi, who knowingly and deliberately shared confidential cabinet information with the Guptas. Honourable Des van Rooyen, who almost turned over the keys of National Treasury to the Guptas and lied repeatedly about a trip to Dubai paid for by the Guptas. Lynn Brown, who I see is also not here, who facilitated the appointment of Gupta-linked directors, opening the door to the Guptas to steal millions from state-owned entities. This is just a list of a few. The list is endless. We wish you the best of luck, President Ramaphosa, in separating the chaff from the wheat, a task that will quite likely happen on the 1st of never. Honourable Speaker, the act of fighting the battle against corruption will not succeed while our crime-fighting, investigative and prosecuting authorities continue to be captured. President Ramaphosa must begin the process of untangling the executive capture of these institutions, achieved by his predecessor through the deployment of loyalists in order to put his interests ahead of those of the people of South Africa. First, and it's not even a matter of debate, Sean Abrams must hit the road. So must Busisiwe Mkhwebane, who simply cannot continue as the public protector. We trust that the ANC in Parliament will lend a hand in improving this important Chapter 9 institution by helping to find a more suitable public protector. Honourable Speaker, it is clear that the independence of the NPA needs to be restored. This can only happen when the head of the NPA is appointed by the National Assembly and not the President alone. This will provide the best safeguard of the institution against presidents appointing malleable flunkies as NDPP. Also, the Minister of Justice should no longer be allowed to exercise final responsibility over the prosecuting authority. This section of the Constitution ought to be deleted so to bring final clarity on the NPA's independence. These are but a few of the suggestions the DA has and offers them to President Ramaphosa in the spirit of lending a hand. The DA has a whole suite of policies which over the coming months will be augmented. We look forward to engaging with the President and the ANC about these policies. We are thrilled that it's a new dawn where politics in South Africa will again become about the debate of policies in the marketplace of ideas. And as a final plea and warning, Mr. President, do not let your pledge to act against corruption be an empty promise. Otherwise, come 2019, to quote a former First Lady, "Kuzoshuba, darling." Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.